This is the Intercontinental Broadcasting Corporation. Sa Bagong Pilipinas.
This is 13 News.
Let's get into the headlines right now. Prosecution's witnesses describe the multi-million cash withdrawals of the Office of the Vice President and the Department of Education in 2022 and 2023 as unusual. This as the Senate impeachment court starts hearing the first article of impeachment or the allegation of VP Duterte's questionable use of confidential funds.
Malacanang says President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. may certify as urgent the bill seeking to remove system loss as pass-on charges to power consumers and the bill to expand tax exemption among workers.
The Bureau of Internal Revenue, or BIR, sees the president's push for expanded tax exemption as a win-win solution for workers and businesses alike.
Search and rescue operations are still ongoing following the massive 7.1 magnitude earthquake in Japan yesterday.
And Filipina tennis star Alex Ayala is set to have a rematch with world number 34 Leylah Fernandez in Mubadala DC Opens round of 16 tonight.
All these and more here on 13 News.
First in the news tonight, two former land bank branch managers testified today at the ongoing impeachment trial of Vice President Sara Duterte.
While both witnesses described the in-questioned transactions as unusual, one of them said bags of multi-million cash were released to the OVP in what she described as a backroom. Patrick Gupol has more on the story.
The House prosecution panel was able to present today two of their witnesses as Senate impeachment court starts hearing their first article of impeachment regarding the alleged questionable use of VP Sara Duterte's confidential funds in 2022 to 2023. First of the two is Violeta Constantino, a retired employee and a former manager at the Land Bank branch where the OVP had their questioned transactions. During the presentation, it was established that OVP Special Disbursing Officer Gina Acosta had 4 multi-million cash withdrawals amounting to 125 million pesos each.
Madam Witness, anong klaseng bag ang pinaglagyan ng pera kung maalala po ninyo?
Sa pagkaalala ko po, isang mahabang malaking bag po siya. Para pong gym bag.
Okay. Madam Witness, ilang bag po ang dala po ni Ms. Gina Acosta at ni Mr. Ortonio?
Sa pagkaalala ko po, mga 3 to 4 bags po yun.
Constantino added that this large amount of transaction is unusual aside from the fact that this was released in a back room.
Nakakita na po ba kayo ng ganyang kalaking amount na withdrawal ever before?
First time po.
Hindi pa po kayo nakakita ng withdrawal na ganito kalaking amount? 125 million. Tama po ba?
Yes po, sir.
Ano yung pinakamalaking nakita nyo ng withdrawal?
Mga 500,000 po.
The second witness, former Land Bank DepEd branch manager Nanita Campusano, also testified about what she described as unusual cash withdrawals of the Department of Education amounting to 112.5 million pesos when they were still headed by VP Duterte, noting that the usual transactions of the agency before these were only about 10 million pesos. Meanwhile, the Senate Impeachment Court has approved the issuance of subpoenas to officials of the Commission on Audit and the House of Representatives for next week's hearings, while retaining the current order of presenting evidence before the defense begins its case. Patrick Gupol, IBC News.
Following the testimonies of the two former land bank managers, The House prosecution panel now sees a possible alignment in their statements and with that of Duterte's self-proclaimed bagman Ramil Madriaga's testimony during the lower house's clarificatory hearing, particularly the bags of cash that Madriaga earlier mentioned under oath. Earl Tobias has more on this report.
The prosecution called out the striking match of the testimony of Ramil Madriaga and that of their retired land bank manager witness during the impeachment trial today. Madriaga first claimed in House Justice Committee that he delivered 125 million pesos in duffel bags due to the alleged instructions of Vice President Sara Duterte. This lines up to the former land bank manager's statement in the trial earlier that the 125 million pesos in confidential funds and cash by Gina Acosta was placed in bags.
Tama, 4 na bag, pinaglagyan ng cash, 3 30 million at isang 35 million. Gaya nga ng nabanggit ninyo, nung April pa, sinabi na ito ni Ramil Madriaga.
The prosecution also pointed out the matching dates when the 125 million pesos was in cash by Gina Acosta and when Madriaga claimed to allegedly deliver the money. A verified check presented before the impeachment court showed that the office of the Vice President encashed the 125 million pesos on December 20, 2022. In Madriaga's affidavit, he also claimed that he delivered the alleged confidential funds on December 20, 2022 in just under 24 hours.
Hindi naman magkakilala ata yung dalawang bank managers at saka si Madriaga, no? So pero may pagkakapare-pareho yung sinasabi nila, yung description nung nilagyan ng pera. I don't think this is a made-up story agreed by these 3 individuals.
While they refused to reveal their overall legal strategy, the prosecution said the testimonies appear to have helped trace the alleged money trail of the Vice President's confidential funds. Spokesperson Robert Ace Barbers even believes that Madriaga and the retired land bank manager were likely referring to the same exact bags.
Hindi naman pwedeng naglipatan ng bag, from the bank. It was placed in a bag. It was given to somebody else, and that somebody else could have been maybe Mr. Madriaga.
The big question now is whether Ramil Madriaga will eventually take the stand as a witness in the impeachment trial. He is not yet included in the list of witnesses subpoenaed for next week. However, Madriaga remains listed on the prosecutor's list of possible witnesses under the allegations of the alleged misuse of confidential funds. Earl Tobias, IBC News.
Still in relation to the impeachment trial of Vice President Sara Duterte, we have on the line with us Attorney Gigi Agabao, a legal expert, top 10 of the 1980 bar and former prosecutor during the Corona impeachment trial. Good evening, Attorney Gigi, and welcome back to 30 News.
Good evening to everyone. Good evening to all of us.
Yes, sir, I'm glad to have you back. Both witnesses described the in-question cash withdrawals of OVP and DepEd as unusual, even as there is difference between unusual and suspicious transactions. How do you think this helps the prosecution's impeachment case versus the Vice President, sir?
Well, the favorite word for today was unusual, no? That word has been used by most of the senator judges that ask questions from the 2 witnesses. No? The way I look at it is this. It is unusual, and the fact that it is unusual is favorable to the prosecution. No? How? When such a cash-heavy withdrawal is made, and the withdrawal is made in lump sum manner, to me, that's a badge of something irregular. More so since the cash was deposited, I think, a few days before, and that on that same day, about 2 or 3 days after, I think, December 20, the entire amount that was deposited was withdrawn in cash. No, that to me is a strong indicia or strong badge of irregularity, at least. No, so on that point, I think. That's a plus point for the prosecution. And more importantly, the fact that it was withdrawn on December 20, I think, And the fact that Madriaga testified that on that same day, such amount of money was given to him for distribution is a very strong corroborative point if and when Madriaga takes the witness stand.
Broke the rules of AMLAC when asked about whether or not they reported the unusual cash withdrawals of OVP, which totals to about ₱500 million. Sir, is this acceptable?
Well, first, with respect to reporting, with the Anti-Money Laundering Council, it's axiomatic. Any withdrawal in excess of 500,000 is reported as covered transaction. The question is whether this withdrawal was reported as suspicious. Unfortunately, we couldn't ask. I mean, the senator judges could not elicit from the witnesses whether, in fact, this was reported as suspicious. But whether or not they reported as suspicious or not, a lump sum withdrawal of 125 million would appear, at least from the viewpoint, I think, of the Anti-Money Laundering Council, as suspicious. No? So then again, I think this is a plus, an important point for the prosecution.
Okay, sir, and considering that the defense did not subject the same witness into a cross-examination, do you think today's trial is a point for the prosecution overall?
Well, well, kudos for the defense, actually. And I doff my hat to the defense because actually the issue today is the receipt of the money, which I think is not controvertible. No? And I think, and this is the first stage in a two-stage proceedings, I think. Today, what has been established and what has been proven is that so much amount has been received by the office of the Vice President. That has been fully established now. And we move to the second phase, no, which is how were this money used, no? The succeeding witnesses, I think, will be coming from the Commission on Audit, and they'll be able to explain to us how this money was used. And what we hope to see is that, as alleged by the prosecution, what we hope to see would be evidences showing that there were fictitious beneficiaries of this cash, there were bogus operations, supposedly intelligence and surveillance operations, and there were fictitious payees as well. No? These are the things that we hope to see when this Article 1 unravels during the process of trial.
Okay, thank you very much for your insights, Attorney Gigi Agabao, and we hope to have you with us again soon. Thank you.
Thank you. My pleasure.
In other news, during today's celebration of the 25th anniversary of the enactment of the Electric Power Industry Reform Act, or EPIRA, President Marcos Jr. re-echoed his push for the amendment of this law and, in effect, remove the system loss charges from those that are passed on to the power consumers. Malacanang added that the president may also certify this bill as urgent, along with his push for expanded tax exemption. Harley Valbuena has more of the story.
President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. inaugurated the Energy Museum at the DOE Energy Center in BGC Taguig. This is the first ever dedicated facility in the country for energy education. The museum shows the science and technology behind the country's energy resources, such as geothermal, hydropower, natural gas, solar, wind, battery energy, storage, and others. It has scale models of Malampaya Platform and Angat Dam, while also teaching practical ways on how to conserve energy.
Sa tulong nito, mas maunawaan ng bawat Pilipino kung paano nabubuo, naihahatid at nagagamit ang kuryente sa ating pang-araw-araw na buhay.
The president then assured that his administration will continue to push for the use of renewable energy in the country, as he also encouraged the public to participate on the efficiency campaign for energy conservation. The inauguration coincides with the celebration of the 25th anniversary of the enactment of Electric Power Industry Reform Act, or EPIRA. The president reiterated his call to the Congress to amend the EPIRA law and remove the system's loss charge to consumers.
It's only fair that Filipino families pay for what electricity they use, not for inefficiencies that really are beyond their control.
The palace added that the president wants utility companies to form plans and conduct monitoring to prevent the incurrence of systems loss.
Lalong-lalo na po yung mga losses because of theft, pilferage, na napapasan ng mga maaayos at mga matitirong mga Pilipino na nagbabayad ng kanilang mga obligasyon.
Malacanang added that it is more likely for the President to certify as urgent the bill amending EPIRA, along with the proposed expanded income tax exemption for workers, which was also mentioned during the SONA. Harley Valbuena, IBC News.
As the president pushes for wider coverage of tax exemption, the Bureau of Internal Revenue calls this a win-win solution for the workforce and business alike, boosting take-home pay of workers and strengthening their purchasing power. IBC correspondent Eliza Insigne has the full report on the government's tax abatement.
As a construction worker for 41 years, Ricky earns a bit more than minimum wage earners. But Ricky laments that he could have a more take-home pay if taxes will be removed from his monthly salary.
Kahit alisin na ng tax. Sa mga malaki kampanya na lang, i-taxing lang. Yung mga may kampanya, may negosyo na malalaki. Saka may kampanya na malalaki, malakas kumita.
That concern is among those that President Marcos Jr. made mention in his recent Fifth State of the Nation address. The president would like to expand the coverage of the current tax exemption. Aside from those having annual income of 250,000 pesos, President Marcos Jr. also wants those earning 350,000 pesos yearly to be freed from income tax. If this happens, workers like Ricky would be able to allocate more budget to other essential needs of their family.
Oh, maganda yun kasi bawas-bawas sa tax. Bawas yun. Sa kikitain namin. Mahirap din kasi dapat magamit pa natin yun sa yung ikakaltas na tax sa pamilya.
The Bureau of Internal Revenue admits that an expanded tax exemption may pose impact to the country's revenue collection, but they do not see it negatively. In fact, they call it a win-win solution for both taxpayers and business workers alike.
Magkakaroon din naman po ng pakinabang ang ekonomiya kasi yung pong indirectly is mabibili niya ng produkto, so yung nagtinda ng produkto, magbabayad po ng buwis.
The cost of tax exemption could also be recouped from those who do not pay taxes, while the Congress can also provide recovery mechanism if the value-added tax is removed. House Speaker Boji D and House Majority Leader Sandro Marcos already filed House Bill number 10345 to extend tax ceiling to 350,000 pesos. Eliza Insigne, IBC News.
Meanwhile, the Philippine National Police are now pursuing leads to uncover who's behind the explosions and the recovered improvised explosive device, or IED, hours before President Marcos Jr.'s State of the Nation address on Monday. Police arrested 2 suspects within days of the attack and later identified other individuals allegedly involved. Recall how tension gripped Manila last July 27 with not one but 2 bomb-related incidents just hours before President Marcos Jr.'s 5th SONA. Shortly after midnight, an explosion rocked the front of the Department of Justice building in Ermita, Manila, while another improvised explosive device was recovered near the Senate in Pasay City. Authorities are probing whether the incidents were linked to an attempt to disrupt the president's SONA. Police Chief Melencio Nartates Jr. is appealing for patience as the PNP vows they won't rest until answers are found. Coming up next, the DOTR and DENR join forces to advance sustainable transport projects under the President's infrastructure agenda. Stay tuned. This is 13 News.
Flavor worth craving. Stories made to inspire. Restaurant every Friday at 4 p.m. on IBC 13.
The Department of Transportation and the Department of Environment and Natural Resources Ecosystems Research and Development Bureau have joined forces to push transport initiatives while protecting the environment. The two agencies signed agreements to advance aviation and maritime infrastructure projects, ensuring development goes hand in hand with sustainability. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. has directed the DOTR to partner with concerned agencies, striking a balance between expanding transport networks and safeguarding natural resources. Officials say the collaboration marks a step towards modern infrastructure that respects the environment and benefits future generations.
Meanwhile, the Metropolitan Manila Development Authority, or MMDA, once again partnered up with the beneficiaries of TUPAD to clean up Metro Manila's coastlines and drainage systems. MMDA and TUPAD continues its coastal cleanup drive to haul and remove loads of garbage that pile up along the shoreline in Manila Bay. This aims to keep coastal areas clean and prevent trash from drifting into esteros and waterways. This reduces blockages that often trigger flooding during heavy rains. Moreover, the MMDA flood control team and TUPAD workers also carried out declogging operations at Calao Avenue, corner San Marcelino Street in Ermita, Manila. Using minor tools, crews removed mud and other debris obstructing the drainage system. This is part of the MMDA's continuing measures to ensure smooth water flow and minimize flooding risk, especially during the rainy season.
Two low-pressure areas are being monitored by Pag-asa right now. One of these LPAs is inside the Philippine Area of Responsibility and causing rains across Luzon as it moves westward. This weather disturbance is bringing scattered rains and thunderstorms over Metro Manila, Calabarzon, Mimaropa, the Bicol region, Central Luzon, parts of Northern Luzon, and Western Visayas, with possible flash floods and landslides in affected areas. Pag-asa said the LPA remains unlikely to develop into a tropical depression and may emerge over the West Philippine Sea on Thursday, while another LPA is monitored east of the country and is now approaching the Philippine Area of Responsibility. The Weather Bureau said it is unlikely to develop into a tropical cyclone within the next 24 hours. Even so, everyone is advised to be cautious and remain on alert amid the possibilities of heavy rains and flooding.
After stunning 2024 Paris Olympic gold medalist Qin Wenzheng in the opening round, Filipina tennis star Alex Ayala is set for another tough rematch at the Mubadala DC Open. Ayala will take on world number 34 Leila Fernandez of Canada in the round of 16. The two last met at the Stuttgart Open last April, where Fernandez defeated Ayala in straight sets. The anticipated showdown gets underway later at 11 p.m.
For news and entertainment, baddies exist in Tondo. That is the bold clapback from Filipino R&B artist Denise Julia, after she was criticized for her recent music video for her latest song, Speechless. Her new music video showed Denise performing the song in a street in Tondo, with her groupies dressed in Y2K-themed outfits, drinking and dancing behind her. Some netizens called her video inauthentic, while others said that people on the streets do not look like her group at all. She insists that she was born and raised in Tondo, where many locals know her well. She also rejected the stereotype that the known district is dirty or chaotic. Denise says there are vibrant, stylish communities there, including Kikay girlies like her. The rising star vows to keep representing Tondo on the global stage, proving that pride in one's roots can shine through music and artistry. 18 casualties have so far been recorded due to the recent magnitude 7.1 earthquake that jolted southern Japan yesterday. The number of injured individuals is now in the thousands, while search operations are still ongoing as many citizens were caught under the rubble after the incident. Let's have more details on the disaster from CJ Reyes.
A powerful magnitude 7.1 earthquake struck Japan's Kumamoto prefecture on Tuesday afternoon, leaving at least 18 people dead and more than 2,700 injured. The earthquake also triggered an explosion at a shopping mall, leaving numerous people trapped under debris. With rescuers searching for survivors round the clock, Japanese Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi described the crisis as a race against time, saying the government is mobilizing all available resources to rescue those still missing. More than 36,000 homes remain without electricity, while 260,000 residents have been evacuated, with 9,000 taking shelter in evacuation centers. Meanwhile, the Department of Migrant Workers said it is coordinating with the Overseas Workers Welfare Administration and the Philippine Consulate General in Osaka to verify the safety of Filipinos in the affected areas. The agency said no Filipino casualties have been reported so far, while verification efforts remain ongoing. CJ Reyes, IBC News.
Before we wrap up tonight's newscast, we bring you the results of the PCSO's 9 p.m. lottery draws. For the Mega Lotto 645, the winning numbers are 22, 39, 43, 7, 13, and 8 with a jackpot prize of 15 million pesos. For the Grand Lotto 655, the winning combination is 9, 4, 33, 23, 46, and 14 with a jackpot prize of more than 101 million pesos. For the 4D Lotto, the winning combination in exact order is 6, 9, 4, and 7. For the 3D Lotto, the winning numbers are 3, 2, and 3 in exact order. And finally, for the 2D Lotto draw, the winning numbers are 28 and 6 in exact order. There are no winners for the Mega Lotto 645 and the Grand Lotto 655. It's an exciting week for badminton players and fans as the Badminton World Federation's Philippine International Challenge 2026 is still ongoing until August 2nd. The tournament features a prize of $20,000 US.
Tomorrow is also the perfect time to reach out to your friends and let them know you appreciate them, because it is International Friendship Day. William,
yes,
if you were to greet anyone, happy Friendship Day.
Actually, I think pretty much everyone who we come into contact with every day, especially people who we trust, people who figure importantly in our lives. What about you?
You know, it's funny I ask you the question, but if I have to think about it myself, to think of one person is really hard. So I probably do what you did.
Right? Because it's hard to narrow it down.
Yeah.
There is one, but I think we really have to think about it well, right?
Yeah, true.
Okay, and those were the latest from the IBC Newsroom this evening.
We'll continue to monitor the stories that matter and give you updates as they develop. I'm Angela C.
And I am William Thio. This is 13 News. Thank you for watching. Good night, everyone.